my dudes.
Hello.
We're back.
Welcome to the second episode of the Magnet Cast.
Are we calling them episodes? Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Oh.
What else would we call them?
Segments? I don't know.
Dude.
I don't know how this works.
Episodes.
Okay.
What?
Episodes.
Yeah, episode 2. Why would you call it segments?
I don't know because it's not a TV show, so it doesn't have episodes.
Yeah, it does.
Oh.
A segment would be like... A segment's something that you put in each episode. So, like, last episode we had the candy segment, and then...
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Go check out the last episode if you haven't seen it.
Drop that there.
So we have to do some branding right now.
Gotta flex on all of y'all real quick.
We are currently on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That is youtube.com/themagnetpodcast.
I thought it was just the Magnet Cast.
It's one of them. Try both. if you
If
really
one
care,
of them doesn't work, try the other one.
if you really care, you'll do both.
Or, you can just go up to that little search bar and look up the Magnet Podcast.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're the only one with that name. So, because we're cool and special.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, we will be on Spotify and iTunes and Pandora, I guess.
Yeah, that is a cool thing that I found. By coincidence today, me just going to check on the updates in my little iPhone and seeing that Pandora now has podcasts.
Pandora has podcasts, folks. And we might be one of the first ones on there.
Advertising for Pandora.
We're not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
by Pandora or anyone really.
Nope.
If you're a local business and you would like to sponsor us,
Please
do.
Please.
Please.
Just please.
It's not about the money, but money's cool,
Yeah, money's nice.
Yeah. Podcasting costs. It costs some money.
And we're just high schoolers.
Yeah, we never mentioned that last episode.
I mean, I feel like they could figure it out if you put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, it didn't take a lot of thought.
Theater and field trips.
So yeah, me and Grace are high school students at White County High School. I'm a sophomore.
I am a junior.
Yes, she's my superior.
Yep, in every way possible.
That is not true.
Mm-hmm.
So she is not senior.
Nope.
She's a junior and I'm a sophomore. And we are in high school. And not a lot of high school students make podcasts.
I don't know any high schoolers that do make podcasts. They're probably out there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's out there.
If you are one,
hit us up.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool to talk about.
Yeah.
But I don't really know anyone that makes a podcast.
I think a lot of people want to make podcasts.
Yeah.
They just don't have the ability or they don't know how.
Which we are very thankful that we do have the ability.
Shout outs to Kayla Everett and Charles DeWalt for letting us use their radio studio.
They are the best.
They are the best. And Charles DeWalt is also the one helping us in getting all of our stuff onto these various websites, which is a lot harder than you'd think to do. It's pretty difficult, actually.
Yeah, I'm very lost and very confused.
But we will do it.
We will figure it out.
Yep.
It's just an adventure, man.
It might take a while.
Yeah.
So right now, the podcast is just on YouTube.
Because that's the easiest.
Because that is literally so easy. You just throw it in there.
You just mute it at YouTube.
Eventually, we will have things on Spotify and iTunes and all that.
Yep.
So look out for that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. What classes are you taking, Grace?
That's a good question. I am taking... Well, are you talking about both semesters? All of the above?
Sure.
I had AP US History.
Ooh.
AP US History. I'm trying to remember my classes. Whew. That was a whole semester ago. AP US History, AP Bio, Pre-Calculus, and Theater.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I am not a math person, at all.
Me too.
I hate math so much that I'm going to be a history major. And so pre-calculus was not fun at all, ever. If you are thinking, I think you have to take pre-calculus in high school.
I don't think so. I don't think you have to.
Okay, well, don't do it.
Because my schedule is next year they want me to take honors algebra 2 and then stats, I think.
Oh, I'm taking stats next year.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to take AP calculus because calculus sucks.
Yeah, she's the smart one. She takes all the AP classes.
Smart is an exaggeration.
See, I could take AP classes. AP classes are on my schedule.
You tell yourself that.
No, like, I have AP US on my schedule for next year.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't need to.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to, like, a college. I'm going to a film academy.
Ooh, fancy.
I'm going to a film academy to probably shadow a director and eventually become one myself.
Yeah. See, I'm going to a 4-year college and getting my master's and maybe, if I feel like it, my PhD.
Ooh, Dr. Grace.
Oh, actually be Dr. Allison, but
Nobody
whatever.
cares. Dr. Grace sounds cooler.
Dr. Grace.
Yeah.
Sure. So I take AP classes just because, like, you know, college credit, getting that stuff out of the way.
I don't need that.
I've taken, like, AP classes my entire high school career. Like, I didn't even know what AP was till I walked into my first day of AP Human Geography. And they're like, by the way, this is a college course. And I was like, excuse me, a college course? Like, I didn't know. Nobody told me what AP Human Geography that I thought it was a science. I thought AP Human Geography was like anatomy. Like, I'm not kidding.
Is it because it said human?
Yeah, like human geography, like, I don't know.
Where is the liver located?
That's literally what I thought it was.
The West Hemisphere.
And so I didn't know what I had gotten myself into, but honestly, I've never taken dual enrollment, so I wouldn't know, but I'd rather take AP than dual enrollment.
Yeah.
Just because from what I've heard from other people, it sounds awful.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend AP. Plus, from all my college friends, they've always said that AP classes over-prepared them for college. And so, like, you get into college and you're like, this is easy.
Yeah.
So.
But, I mean, you know, I don't have to do that, so.
Well, aren't you just a special little snowflake?
Yeah. I'm the side of high schoolers that don't take AP classes. So, I'm looking out for you, fellas.
I got your back.
I got your back.
And then I'm with the
idiots.
Listen here.
Sorry, that was mean. The nerds.
Listen, actually being a nerd is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I'm sorry.
I've, like, had people become friends with me just because I'm smart.
Because I'm quirky.
I'm so quirky and clumsy.
I'm quirky and random.
Wow.
Caution, I'm weird.
God. I just cringed so hard. That, like, made my body tense up.
I'm sorry.
But then this semester, going back to, like, my classes I'm taking, this semester I again have AP Biology because that's an all-year course. I have chemistry because I'm doubling up on my sciences because why not? Well, actually, originally I wanted to be a science major and I wanted to be a science teacher. Like, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. Like, I've always wanted to be a teacher. But I was originally going to be a science teacher, but then I just hate math so much.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
That I just could not. But I will say that biology is my favorite. I love biology with a burning passion. Like, I've always loved biology. So, of course, I took AP Biology. And if you love biology like I do, AP Biology is, like, one of the best courses to take. Like, I love AP Biology. It's so much fun. It's so cool. But also, chemistry, I'm not really, like, a chemistry person. Like, I wouldn't say that it's interesting to me.
I'm the opposite, man.
Yeah, I think the coolest part about chemistry was when we, like, made stuff catch fire.
See, I was offered AP Bio. I turned it down.
Yeah.
Because personally, I like chemistry way more, so honors chemistry looked a lot more appealing than taking an AP class in a subject that I don't really like.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of biology.
See, I'm the opposite. And, like, I would never take physics. Like, I cannot.
Oh, my gosh.
Tolerate physics.
I don't think anyone. Honestly, I think physics is that one class that nobody wants to take.
No, you know who wants to take physics? Josh.
Of course he does.
That's like
Is his kayak the teacher? Is Gwen teaching the class?
That's like what he wants to do. Like that's what he like is passionate about. He's passionate about physics.
Shout out to Gwen. Josh's kayak.
um, but yeah, like that's like what he loves. Like he loves physics, and it's disgusting. Like he's great, but physics is not.
I don't blame you.
But he always hates on biology, so I mean.
Okay, Grace. Are Cheetos chips?
Are Cheetos chips?
Are they?
Yes, they are.
Explain yourself.
Well, because if you think about the definition of a chip.
I know the definition of a chip, like word for word. So.
Oh, you know it word for word?
Oh, yeah.
What's the definition of a chip?
A thin snack. A thin snack that is baked, dried, or fried. That is usually made from potatoes.
The fact.
A thin slice, by the way. Which
that
Cheetos are not. Cheetos are not thin. Don't try to debate that.
I will debate that.
They're not.
No, they can be.
No, they can't.
I mean, if you compare them to like other snack foods, they are
if you compare
thin,
them to other chips, they're not.
But they are chips.
Okay. You see, I know it sounds like I'm saying that Cheetos aren't chips, but I'm on the fence on this so much.
I wholeheartedly believe that Cheetos are chips.
I mean, think about it, right? You go into a grocery store. What do you see? You see the chip aisle. What's in the chip aisle?
Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Yeah.
Cheetos are in the chip aisle. Cheetos are marketed as chips.
Like, if they aren't chips, then what are they?
That's a very good question. Just a snack food, I guess?
Yeah, but, like, there are different, like, subcategories of snack foods. Like, you have chips. You have, like, the sweet snack foods. You have, like, I don't know any other snacks.
Oh, yeah, that one.
What?
That was the joke, Grace.
It was?
Yeah, yep.
Oh.
All right, let's move on. So, Cheetos, I really don't know how I feel because they are a baked snack food.
Yeah.
And it says that chips are usually made of potatoes, not exclusively. They're not made of potatoes, but they are a baked snack food.
Yep.
But they're not thin.
Well, I would argue that.
They're not.
They are, though.
They're really not.
Like, sure, if you compare a Cheeto to, like, a potato chip, it's gonna not look thin.
It doesn't look thin if you just have a Cheeto by itself.
Look, Cheetos are, like, they're small, and I think because they're circular, you wouldn't, like, necessarily think, oh, that's thin. But,
what?
Like, because
Cheetos aren't circular.
Yeah, they're kind of like roundish.
No, they're not.
Not like a. It's more
it
like a
like
cylinder.
curls.
It's a cylinder.
Cheetos cylinders are not thin.
No, they can be.
No, they're not. They're rounded.
No, but like the size of the cylinder makes it thin.
Dude, I'm telling you, Cheetos are not thin. I don't know if they're chips or not.
So if they're not thin, then that means that they're not chips.
That's what I'm... But see, can you make an exception to the rule? Because there are things that you can make exceptions to. Like, is Cheetos the exception to the thin rule?
Maybe.
Because
Maybe that's why they're chips.
It does classify under everything else but the fact that it's thin.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Grace.
What?
I just blew my own mind.
What?
You know what else is a chip?
What?
Beef jerky.
But it's not made of corn?
It doesn't need to be.
Wait.
It said usually potato. That's all it said.
Oh. Wait.
It's a dried snack food.
No.
That's thin.
No.
Beef jerky is a chip.
It's not.
It's a chip.
I think when they say that it isn't necessarily potato, they're saying like it's like one of those like flour based, like corn or starch.
It doesn't state that
or
though.
Or potato.
It doesn't state that.
It's like, I don't.
Listen, Grace.
Uh-huh.
This is not the Urban Dictionary, all right? This is cold hard Webster's facts, all right? Beef jerky is a chip.
We need to get like an actual dictionary.
Dude, I Googled it. It's there.
But, like, is Google always reliable?
Duh.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Beef jerky is a chip.
Not gonna accept that fact.
Can we make a poll of some kind?
A poll?
Yeah, you can do that on YouTube. You know, like the little
Yeah.
icon?
Yeah.
And, like, you can make a poll. We'll make a poll. Is beef jerky a chip?
And we also need to make our Cheetos chips.
I don't think you can do two.
Oh. Well, I would like to see the beef jerky one more.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I don't think that's no.
So have I swayed you at all? Do you still think Cheetos are chips?
Yes, I still wholeheartedly think that Cheetos are chips.
I mean, I still don't know. I'm still on the fence because I really want them to be chips, but there's also a pretty good argument against them being chips.
Yeah. I can't not see them as chips. Because that's what I believed my whole life.
That's what I have too, and it's hard to think that they're not, but like I don't know, man. I've had this conversation with other people and they've convinced me
that Cheetos aren't chips.
You know what? I think I'm making my stand.
Cheetos
are not chips.
And that's why we're here. Because we can never agree on anything.
Cheetos aren't chips.
They are chips.
They're really not, though.
You know what we can agree on, though? We both are interested in horror movies.
We both really like horror movies.
Yeah, I love horror movies.
That is one thing that we both agree a lot on, but we don't like the same horror movies, really.
Not at all.
Like, I saw Pet Sematary recently.
I haven't seen it, but I have read the book.
It's so bad.
Is it really?
It is so bad.
Oh, wow.
Like, the one from I think it was 1990.
I haven't seen either of them.
The one from the 90s isn't good, and neither is this one. This new one. It just isn't, man.
That's not a reasoning.
Well, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but with Pet Sematary, I feel like it's really hard to make a film adaptation of that.
I mean, it's hard to make a film adaptation of any Stephen King novel.
Yeah, but I feel like Pet Sematary especially because there's so many. I feel like there's a lot of B plots. Yeah. Like there's a lot of side plots that's really hard to fit everything into this movie. And whoever edited the script, I don't think they did a good job because they that's not a word. They added a lot of plot points that they never came back to.
Oh, I hate when movies do that.
Like, for instance, this isn't much of a spoiler. This happens pretty early. A kid dies in Pet Sematary, and he comes back as like a specter or like a ghost or like a person that's like guiding them or something.
Yeah.
That's in the book.
Yeah.
But he's only there for like 3 scenes, and he never plays a big role at all. So just things like that. And in the trailers, I don't know if you've seen the trailers for the new one.
I have.
They have those kids in the masks.
Yeah.
That's in one scene.
Really?
That's in one scene.
See, in the trailer, they played it as like such like a big part.
Yeah, I think they just did that so it would seem creepy. But the masks had no significance to the story at all. They played it off in one line, and then it came back like at the end for no reason at all.
See, you want to know another thing that I hate that horror movie trailers do?
What's up?
Spoil jump scares.
They do.
They do that, and I don't understand. Like, you can make a horror movie trailer creepy and scary and interesting without spoiling any of the jump scares.
You know what's a perfect example of that?
It.
2018.
2018.
So,
is it 2018? I thought it was 2017.
Was it 2017?
I think it was 2017.
Okay, whatever. The new It. The newer It. So the problem with me with that movie is, okay, I enjoyed that. Well, I enjoyed that movie, but I think it could have been a lot better than it was.
Oh, yeah.
See, they never, whoever edited this and the person that directed this, I don't think they did subtlety well at all. Nothing was subtle.
No.
They weren't even jump scares, really, because you knew when they were going to happen.
You could tell by the music.
Exactly. The music wouldn't shut up. The whole point of a jump scare is that it gets you, like, by surprise, and that it's like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
But that just wasn't here because the music wouldn't stop, like, blaring in your ears every time.
Yeah.
And, like, even the cinematography, like, it heavily hinted towards something is going to happen right here. Watch out. The only time it ever, like, the only time where it was ever, like, an actual jump scare was the bathroom scene with Beverly.
That was the only good jump scare.
But you know what happened with that? It was in the trailer.
Yep.
So, you know, that took away the whole point of the jump scare. Yeah, because you're watching the movie and you're in the bathroom and it's like, Pennywise is right behind her.
Yeah.
So you already knew that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because the trailer spoiled it.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, personally, I'm more of a fan of the, like, old It, like the TV series or whatever.
The super corny, cheesy one?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's something about it. I forget the name of the actor who played Pennywise, but I don't know. There's just something about him that he was just such a good Pennywise.
He is such a legend, and his name is totally slipping me right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember his name, but it was just, he was so good. And also, that's, like, what I grew up on, because I grew up on horror movies. Like, I've been watching horror movies ever since I was little, which honestly probably wasn't the best choice and is probably why I'm a little bit crazy. But, like, that's why I love them so much, because that's just how I was raised. And so I was raised on that little, like, mini-series thing, and it's always, like, been one of my more favorite horror movies, plus the whole story of it. It's really interesting. Like, the book itself, I would totally recommend the book. It's such a good book, but the fact that it's so long is, you can't fit that into a movie. Like, there's so much that happens.
Yeah.
It's not logical to make a movie.
I think the script editor for the 90s one did a good job in keeping and cutting certain plot points.
Yeah.
Because, like, the whole stuff with, like, the space turtle and whatnot, like, that was not anywhere in the 90s version. And I think that's good.
Well, that's debatable.
I mean, it's, like, hinted towards, but, like, you don't see the guy, you know?
Yeah.
And they, the 90s miniseries has a lot of problems. Tim Curry, who was the guy that played Pennywise.
Oh, yeah.
I think he did phenomenally. I think he did really good. And all the kid actors, I think
were really good.
I think the kid part of the movie was really good. I think the acting was good. I think the character development was good. And it wasn't a movie. It was like a miniseries on TV.
Yeah.
Which is good because then they could have like 8 hours to make this thing happen. I don't know how long it is. It's definitely not 8 hours, but it's a long time. So they had a lot more time to do character development for the kids. Yeah. So when the parents came in, or not the parents, so when the adult versions of them came in, you cared for these characters.
Yeah.
The problem is the adult version of the movie really sucks.
Yeah, I did not like that. I did not like the way that they portrayed the characters.
I don't either.
I especially think that Bill wasn't that good. And he's like the main dude.
Well, Bill is Stephen King's self-inserted character anyway, so.
Yeah. But like, I feel like they didn't really do him justice. But that's also, going back to the new It, that was one of the problems. They did not stay true to the book with the characters.
See, I think a lot of that is the fact that it is in a different time frame. Yeah. So the characters had to adjust for that. But at the same time, I'm sorry, I know a lot of people love this kid. Richie annoyed the crap out of me, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I know that was his character, and I really like the act. Well, I don't know. The actor is good, but Finn Wolfhard.
Yep.
He was kind of just playing himself though.
Yeah.
He didn't really add a lot to the character, I don't think.
And especially with Richie, he has like this whole thing where he does like impersonations.
Oh yeah, I love that.
That's like his character. He's like the funny one. He's the goofball. He does the impersonations. And yet, towards the end, you see, like, the more serious side of him.
Yeah, he's not happy.
And that's why, like, it's such, like, a big thing. And that's what I loved about him.
Because his whole character, like, in the end of the first part of It, Richie never really had a story arc. Mm-hmm. He was kind of just douchebag, and then douchebag that got hurt, and then a douchebag at the end.
Yeah.
Richie in the book, he's like a goofball or whatever, and he's kind of a douche. But near the end, you start realizing that the only reason he makes those jokes is because he's actually really hurting inside.
Yeah.
And I really loved that character development. And I know that it's not a 1,000-page novel, so it's a lot harder to write each individual character in. But I feel like a lot more character development was needed, especially if you're going to have this wide group of children with all like vastly different characters.
Yeah.
With that being said, Stan and Mike are in like 5 scenes.
Yeah. I felt so bad because
Stan is my favorite, man.
Yeah, Stan's so cool. And Mike has like this connection with Pennywise.
Mm-hmm.
That like I guess the other characters do, but like his family was like affected by Pennywise. Like his like grandfather,
the whole house burning down.
Yeah, and so like he has this like whole connection with Pennywise, and it's just not there in the movie.
Yeah. Plus, I know I shouldn't compare the characters in the new one to the old one, like acting wise and like the way that they looked.
Yeah.
But when I think Stan, I think the Boy Scout that played him in the 90s. And when I think Richie, I think the tall, lanky ginger dude.
Yeah.
Also, Eddie,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Eddie was my least favorite performance in this entire movie.
Yeah.
I did not like Eddie's character. Eddie is supposed to be nervous and like really shy.
He was just kind of annoying.
Eddie freaked out, and he always played the same note, really, and he was always just kind of the same.
Yeah.
And Eddie in the 90s, I think, did a lot better playing the shy, like, asthmatic, nervous character, because the new Eddie was really loud, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he always screamed all of his lines.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just didn't see Eddie in that.
Although I will say, I do like the new Beverly more than I liked the old Beverly.
I think the reason you like the new Beverly older than the older Beverly is because the old Beverly didn't have any character at all.
Yeah.
She was just the girl.
Yeah, and that's like all they played her as. But then in the new one, she was like, yeah, she was the girl, but you got to see that like
she was more.
And she was more of a tomboy than anything. And so they didn't really like play her as the girl.
Yeah.
And so, but also a key, I always laugh at this. Also, like a key point in Beverly is the fact that she has like red hair. And in the TV series, she had like blonde hair.
She did.
So the whole poem that, what's his face? Ben, yeah.
That's literally my name, Grace.
Yeah, that's what I forgot. Ben like writes about her, is talking about her hair. And you see that in the movie. And it's like, yeah, because she has red hair, but then you see it in the TV show, and it's like, wait,
she's blonde, dude.
She's blonde, dude. Like, what?
It's like, who are you writing about?
Okay, real quick though.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like suspense or gore? Like psychological or gory?
I like them for different reasons.
But like, which one do you like more?
I don't know, but I'll give my side for both. If I want to watch a good movie, I will watch a suspenseful movie.
Mm-hmm.
I will watch a movie that is done well with the score and the cinematography to leave you in suspense and, like, shaking in your seat to ask what's next. If I want a funny or fun movie, maybe not funny, that's probably not the word. If I want a fun movie, I'll choose gore. Because Saw, a lot of people hate Saw because it's, like, super over the top. But it's fun. Like, those aren't the best movies ever made. They're pretty bad, actually. But they're fun.
Yeah.
Because it's just super over the top, and it's fun.
See, personally, I can't do gore.
Right.
Like, I can't. It grosses me out. I can't do gore. The only gore I can do is zombies.
Zombies.
I can do zombies. But, like, that's it. That's where I draw the line. And even some zombie movies, I'm like, I can't watch that. Yeah. Which is why I favor psychological more. Plus, like, a lot of, like, my favorite horror movies were psychological. And I feel like that's more scary. Like, to me, when I want to see a horror movie, I want to get scared. Like, that's my goal. I want to be terrified.
Right.
And if the more realistic the horror movie is, the more scary it is. And I feel like with gore, you can't really have that, like, realistic aspect in some senses. Like, I get how Saw could technically probably happen, but I don't know. It's just whenever I see gore, I'm like, that can't happen. That's not gonna happen. But, like, when I see a movie like Get Out or something like that, I'm like, that could happen. Or like The Strangers, that movie terrifies me.
It's not a very good movie.
I know it's not a very good movie, but like the whole idea.
That's a very real idea.
Yeah, that's like a real idea. Like, I think, isn't it based off of a true story?
I don't think. It says that it is, but I don't think so.
I don't know. But like the whole idea of just these people breaking into a house just to kill someone.
It's pretty messed up.
That's like, but that's like a real thing. Like, that can actually happen. And those movies just terrify me. So that's why I lean more towards psychological. But I will say, zombie movies are fun.
They are fun. So, I was about to ask you your favorite horror movie. But before we get to that, I want to backtrack to It. Because I have another thing to say.
Okay.
They never say Eddie Spaghetti.
They don't.
They don't. And they never say beep beep Richie. It says beep beep.
They don't. Beep beep Richie is that's like one of my favorite things.
I love that.
And especially when Pennywise goes beep beep Richie.
Beep beep Richie.
That's like terrifying.
Yeah. They like mention it once, and Pennywise says it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he says Richie, but he definitely says beep beep.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like his catchphrase.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. The entire time I was watching that in theaters, I was like, please say Eddie Spaghetti. Please say beep beep Richie.
Yeah.
Once.
Just once.
And they didn't.
And it kind of concerns me with the sequel coming out about the adults, because the only character I really cared about in the new It was Beverly and kind of Bill, but not really.
I think Bill did well.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I will say that I don't think that it was really the actor's fault. I think it was the script mainly. I feel like what they were given, they weren't allowed to like fully act the characters because the script limited them so much.
Yeah.
But I do care about Beverly and I do care about Bill.
I think Ben and Stan also did well.
Yeah.
And Mike. But Stan and Mike and Ben were never given anything to work with, so.
So what that leads me to believe is that in the next movie, we're not going to care what happens about them because they were never developed.
Yeah. That there's always that lingering fear. Maybe they will give the adult characters some development in the next one, but I doubt it'll be a lot. I feel like they're going to do what the 90s did and just go right into the whole thing with Pennywise. I'm not going to spoil it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're just going to go right into it. So yeah, I feel like they might get a bit character developed to be like, hey, this is what they've been doing. But like besides that, I doubt it'll be much.
So that just kind of concerns me.
Like it's bad when you want Richie to die.
Yeah.
Like, I want this kid to get eviscerated or something. I shouldn't put that on the internet. But
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, Grace.
Mhm.
What's your favorite horror movie?
Favorite horror movie. Okay, so this is going to kind of sound a little bit strange because I talk so highly of psychological horror movies. But I think my favorite horror movie of all time is probably Zombieland. Zombieland. I know it's such like a cheesy movie, and it's not. Some people could even argue that it's not a horror movie. But I just loved it. Like, because I think that comedy and horror go so well together.
Because there's a lot of tropes to play off of.
Yeah. And now they don't necessarily always go together. And there is bad horror movies that try to be funny and just failed. But the way that Zombieland does the comedy, but then also has like the serious moments, and their jump scares were genuine, and there was a lot of suspense, even though it was funny and like making fun of horror movies, kind of.
See, Zombieland, and same goes with Shaun of the Dead. They kind of go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Those have been like guilty pleasures for me ever since I was little.
Yeah.
See, Zombieland it's not the most well-directed movie, and it's not the best movie in the world, but it's always been a guilty pleasure of mine because it's fun. Like that end scene with the amusement park.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That's fun.
Shaun of the Dead, however, is
interesting.
It's directed by Edgar Wright, who is my favorite director.
See, I've never seen it.
You've never seen Shaun of the Dead?
I've never seen it.
It is a quality film. You have to watch that movie. Mm-hmm. It's so good. Everything that Edgar Wright does is really good. But my favorite horror movie, and I know this is gonna sound like really basic, because like every like person that's air quotes interested in film says that this is their favorite movie, but that's just because it's really good.
Yeah.
The Shining.
Yeah, that's up there for me. I like that movie. It's just so like, I don't know the technical terms for it, but it's pretty. Like it's a pretty movie.
The cinematography and the directing, and especially the set. Like, I know it's an actual hotel, but I think they may have done something, like, weird with it.
You want to know what they did? So all the outside shots of the hotel, those were all, like, that's, like, a real hotel, and you can go there. But none of the inside shots
was actually the hotel.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because there's a lot of colors and a lot of symbolism in the hotel that I was thinking, like, there's no way that this was already made as the hotel. Because there is so much... like that red, brown, orange thing that has going on.
The carpet?
Yeah, like just the looping of that pattern over and over again. I can't explain this, but it sends like such a message through you.
Yeah, it
of
really
like,
does.
I don't even know. It just has an eerie vibe to it.
Yeah, like the whole hotel itself just has an eerie vibe.
The lighting.
How well they did it.
The lighting, and this is like big ups for them, because lighting at the time was really hard to get right, and Stanley Kubrick did it with The Shining. Also, just the message and the impact that this had on film is like such a big deal, because nobody had made a Shining before The Shining. The Shining, people still don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Like, here's my advice. Don't go into The Shining expecting it to be like the book.
Oh, yeah.
It's completely different. It's a completely different experience.
Yeah, because I've read the book.
The book is a story. The Shining is an experience.
Yep.
The Shining will leave you asking yourself questions, and The Shining will leave you thinking, what the heck did I just watch? The Shining is one of those movies that people... There's an entire documentary about theories of what The Shining might mean.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows.
No one knows.
No one knows. And I love that. And it's not like a cheesy oh, you have to guess the ending. It's something that's...
just like you don't know what you just watched.
But it's done so well.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think a lot of movies had done that before.
You're wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
Of just like, you don't know what you just watched, but you loved it.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. Stephen King, the first time he watched The Shining.
I've done that so many times.
I know, I'm so sorry. Have I been saying Steven Spielberg this entire time?
No, remember that whole like conversation that we had, and you kept on saying Steven Spielberg when you meant to say Stephen King?
Oh my gosh, why do I always do that?
Like, he always does that.
Stephen King, the first time he watched The Shining, he said that he hated it because it's nothing like the book. Like, it's the same like basis, it's the same characters, it's the same setting, and it hits some of the same plot points, but for the most part, it's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
And personally, this is probably a hot topic. I know I say hot topic a lot. This is probably a big deal.
It's going to be like a catchphrase. If we ever make t-shirts for this,
hot
it's just
topic.
going to say hot topic.
So, I like the movie way better than the book.
Me too.
I think The Shining is the only thing that I'll ever be able to say that about.
Yeah.
I like the movie more than the book.
I think because the book, I read the book in like 5th grade, and it creeped me out. Like, it's a good book. I'm not saying that it's a bad book. It's a good book. It's a good book. But it's more of like a story. It's a story. And there's just certain aspects about it that are just kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
Like, the whole, like, The Shining is just kind of like, that's cool, I guess. But then how they do it in the movie with The Shining.
It's so much more subtle.
It's scary.
It's subtle. Okay. A big part of horror movie, if you want to make a good horror movie, play on the fear of the unknown.
Yes.
And that's what The Shining does.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what The Shining is. It's not explained.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
The fact that you don't know what's going on, the fact that you don't feel safe while watching this, the fact that you don't feel safe, and the fact that it's not following what every other film has done is what makes it so good, because it's the unknown.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
The Shining. Watch it.
Yeah. Also, if we're going back to my favorite movie, because I'm so bad with saying, like, just this is my favorite of all time, but I will also say that Get Out.
It's pretty good.
That's also one of my favorite horror movies.
I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but Jordan Peele definitely did a good job.
Yeah. Although, have you heard, like, the alternate ending that he, like, wanted to have?
What was that? Wait, I think I do know, but you can explain it.
So, this is spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen Get Out, go watch it, then come back. Stop listening right now. We're about to spoil it. But in the ending of Get Out, he's being, like, chased out of the house, and, you know, his, like, friend
Does he get arrested?
His friend comes and no, this is, like, the actual ending. His friend comes and saves him, and, they, like, go back, and they're, like, everyone's okay. But in the actual ending that he wanted,
the Jordan Peele cut,
it was gonna be a police officer that came, and he saw the black guy. I don't know the name of the main character. I haven't seen it in, like, a long time. He sees, like, the guy, and he instantly blames him, and so the white people get off free. You know what? He's blamed for everything.
When I saw that car pulling up, I thought it was going to be a cop car.
I thought it was going to be a cop car.
That's exactly how I thought it was end, and I was crossing my fingers that's how it would end.
Yeah.
Because because this movie already is such a political commentary, if you wanted to nail that in, make the black guy get arrested.
Yeah, I honest to God thought that's what was going to happen.
Like, everything was leading up to that.
But also at the same time, I think that if he had done that, it would have gotten so much backlash.
Yeah, but hey, that's good. Controversy's good for something.
Good.
But at the same time, if he did get arrested, I feel like his friend character would have just been, like, kind of useless.
He would have been useless.
Like, what's the point of his character if it didn't come in the end?
The whole ending with the TSA thing.
Yeah.
That was great.
Jordan Peele does good comedy. I haven't seen Us yet, but I really want to.
I really want to see it so badly.
We should go see that together.
Yes, we should.
Let's go.
My mom has seen it.
Let's go watch Us. Did she say it's good?
Yeah, she said she loved it.
We will watch Us, and then we'll tell you guys exactly what we think of it. Because I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard people say it's amazing, and I've heard people say it's bad.
Good reviews, so.
I've heard people say that he should have done less comedy. Because I hear that it's also partially comedy, as it is horror.
I think that's good though. I love comedy and horror. So.
I think it's either cheesy good or really good, just depending on how you do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just really bad.
It can be bad.
So we will just have to wait and see.
And your homework, if you're still listening, if you have not seen any of the movies that we talked about,
especially The Shining, that's a big one.
Or Zombieland, because that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Go watch them.
Yes. But if you've read the book of The Shining, don't expect it to be like the book, because it's not. So we are reaching at 45 minutes, and I think that's a good time to wrap this up.
Yep. Are we going to do the intro?
So I haven't.
The outro?
So we're going to spill the beans a little bit here. I haven't listened to our last recording, so I don't know if the snaps picked up.
I don't know if the snaps picked up.
But we're going to do it again.
No, I don't like the snaps.
Okay, you ready?
Oh, Lord.
Goodbye, folks.
Bye.
Thank you for watching the Magnet Cast. This has been Ben.
Have a great rest of whatever it is.
You were supposed to say, and this is Grace, but you definitely didn't, so.
And this is Grace.
We love you.
No, we don't.
I love you. No, I don't. I'm sorry. And we will see you next time. Bye.